couple weeks ago, I took a trip to Chicago. I flew into Chicago and I drove to Madison, Wisconsin to look at this 70 Chevelle. I got there.
Stephen is going to be joining us
The
via
guy had
phone.
this elaborate website. He never asked me for money or anything. So, and I talked to the guy. He said, you should come and take a test drive. I flew in, drove all the way to
We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get started. We are at 7:02 for the June 10th regular council meeting for Harrington. Roll call, we have all present. Stephen is attending by phone. We can recognize our visitors. You guys want to call out, or I'll just write you down?
Joe Gilchrist, Lincoln County Commissioner.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Tony Hamilton, resident. Present.
David Funk, presenter.
Cool.
What I should call myself?
Peter Davenport.
Okay. Lance, welcome.
Howdy.
Okay, we can join together in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. To open, do we have any public comments? Okay. Thank you. Any items to remove from the consent agenda?
None here.
Stephen, do you need to chime up?
No, I don't have anything to remove from the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anything to add to the agenda?
Yeah, I need to talk about the Memorial Hall grant.
Okay.
Wanted to, got a neighbor wanting to know about additional weed control by the water tower.
Okay.
I'd like to address the parking on 4th Street. You took mine.
Just say it again.
And I think I can handle mine if we have a committee report on the cemetery. I can do it then.
Okay, perfect.
Got one more for you.
Okay, yeah.
Revisit our codes with installing mailboxes and such on sidewalks, city sidewalks.
Okay. All right. In the interest of time, before we get into some of the routine stuff, if you guys are not opposed, I'd like to move Peter's agenda item to this point.
Sure.
You okay with that, Peter?
I didn't hear you.
I'm gonna move you to the, right now on the agenda, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, bear with me a second.
My presence here is a mystery. I was told I should be here tonight by an authority I recognize as being reliable.
This is completely, to be honest, not official city work, but, and I don't have any big speech planned, but Peter, you have been a huge benefit to the city. Both you're serving on the council, mentoring me when I came in, and it's just bugged me that I've never said officially thank you. So I'm saying thank you by giving you this flag that was flown over the city in appreciation for your time in the city and all the work that you've done.
I'm overwhelmed.
So
Thank you, Joe.
don't know any Army color guards that folded it, but my stepsons are Marines, so they did the full proper.
It'll sit on my desk for a long time.
Good.
I'm grateful to you all.
So,
I've enjoyed the work on behalf of the city. It's the best decision I ever made, moving from western Washington to eastern Washington.
I will mirror that, yes.
Look, I ended up in Harrington, but it's been a 20-year delightful experience, and I'm grateful for the expression of support.
You're welcome.
Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Appreciate you.
All right, now to the boring stuff. Department reports. Lance, did you have a chance to?
No, I've been out of the loop and took a little bit of time off for some medical reasons, so little laggy right now. So I got nothing written up today.
Okay. Well, we're here to be pummeled with questions.
Yep, Dr. Pitney.
Did you guys get a chance to read the clerk's report? Okay, I can summarize. The clerk had found, Cassie had found another online payment option. Going through it and looking diligently at the contract, it's, just to put it bluntly, it's not gonna work for the city of Harrington. It's just not the right fit. The clerk is continuing to clean up the utility accounts so that there's more consistency and cohesion amongst billing across all accounts, all residences. She's still working on the Wells City certification, which would result, when completed, in about a 2% discount in our employee health insurance premiums. She has been attending semi-weekly workshops from the Department of Commerce, Foundations for Capital Planning, that runs through today. Attended the Partners for Rural Washington Grant Chat, geared towards congressional spending. That was on May 20th. The big one, she finalized and got the annual report submitted to the state auditor's office. That is a huge undertaking, so that's to be greatly appreciated. She's scheduled to attend the AWC annual conference at the end of June. There's a lot of workshops, education and training, and networking opportunities. She's scheduled to attend the Foundations for City Budget series through AWC. It's a series of webinars. She's going to be looking to continue her education during some recovery that she'll be doing in July. Low-cost budget options for the AWC Municipal Budgeting and Financial Management Workshop in Leavenworth. She went last year and it was hugely beneficial to the city. And she's looking at options to attend the AWC Trust Benefit Forum, especially as we work towards the Wells City status for 2027. Again, lots of collaboration with other people in AWC. So. And he can't be here tonight, but we have a report from our Community Standards Liaison. So he was here last month at the May 13th meeting. On May 20th, he was out there on the road with one of our citizens to review a potential hydraulic leak from a garbage truck. And he's been reviewing Ordinance 505, our nuisance ordinance, and then the city code book. On the end of May, he did a walk through the city and basically started identifying some properties that would likely fall under Ordinance 505 for nuisance, just making some notes. He came here in the beginning of the month. His email is set up, but we don't have a computer completely set up for him yet. That's a goal to get set up, so he'll be able to sit right there to work. A week ago, he met with a citizen regarding their unkept yard, had a great discussion, offered to help volunteer assistance with the mowing, discovered the property is sold under contract. The citizen cannot go in and do yard maintenance that is part of the sales contract, but the buyer must keep up the yard, so looking at options on how to get around that. And then he simply worked at home, logging in properties from his survey and just making more notes. So he's actively at it. So that is our department reports. Committee reports. Do we have anything from our budget committee? I would expect, it's nothing really.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Employee handbook. Okay. Cemetery,
Yeah,
Creighton.
can you give me the lowdown on the lawnmower first?
I'm back tomorrow.
Coming back tomorrow?
Back tomorrow, so she'll be mowed this week.
Okay. I did mow the park and the triangle today.
I saw you out there buzzing around.
The rest of it is, I guess, what I want. If you have problems, again, it would be nice if we all knew, or at least some of us knew about it. We maybe could have guided you someplace, particularly where we bought it from. And I know that you were doing what you thought was the right thing. But we bought it from someone we're all familiar with, and I think he probably would have come and got it and fixed it and even lent us a mower so that we wouldn't have fell behind. So anyway, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yes, I think it's just one of, honestly, I feel like it was a whoever put the lawnmower together issue. Because he even said the fork is supposed to be shiny and smooth, and said it looked like it's been marred up for a minute. So
Yeah,
whoever
okay.
seated those bearings and that didn't do a good job, didn't put the right torque on it, whatever it was, but
That's probably
Yeah.
most likely what happened.
Andy out there is just, or I believe his name is Andy at RDI,
RHO,
RHO or whatever, but yeah, he's
RDO, I'm sorry, RDO.
took great care of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, for your knowledge, the flags will go up on Friday, so
Okay,
as long as that front's mowed so you don't have to weed whack around them.
perfect. Thank you for the heads up.
Because I think Flag Day's Sunday.
There we go. We'll have it ready.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything. One thing though I would like to know, I mean it's been just historically what we do. Most cemeteries pull the flowers after Memorial Day so they can mow around the tombstones. Almost all cemeteries do. We do not, and I know it would make it a whole lot easier for you guys. I'm not sure how the public would react to that. That's the one thing that
That's why we kind of
go. I know, and I don't know if that's something that, since the council is a cemetery committee, it's something that at some point we need to discuss. But I know most places, they're gone that next week. The next time they mow, they're gone.
I feel we should almost follow suit in other cemeteries as in no fake flowers. I feel like we should start moving away from that because that not only it's harder to deal with, they last forever, but they also damage the equipment if we hit it with the equipment. You know, it's kind of a lose-lose all around. I understand it's, you know, it's prettier for longer, but in the long term, you know, nobody comes back and picks them up. And they go all over the
These
cemetery.
pots and stuff, they create another zigzag and just another opportunity to make a strike on a headstone. So I think it's something we need to discuss and figure out some
On the
kind of
agenda.
policy somewhere.
Posted guidelines for cemetery. It's on our agenda tonight.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm glad that was brought up.
Yeah. Don't you have something to do?
You have to be dead to live there too.
Thank you for that clarification. Anything from our buildings codes committee? I think that's a work in progress
Yeah.
again. Same with code enforcement. I think we can,
It looks like, you sit down with Mike when he's done or caught up on that.
yeah. He's on holiday, so. we'll be
Yeah.
back. And then events in the committee, or events in the city, pretty much nailed that. I think we could almost take that off the agenda for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's,
I can update a little bit on the car show as far as our signing and that type of thing. We borrowed stuff from the state. It worked out really well. Lance did a great job of getting everything put together, set up, and figuring out what we needed. Eventually, we're gonna have to buy, some signs. So the next one we've got coming is a country fair. I think I can borrow enough to take care of that. We can cover that.
That's a much smaller scale too.
Yeah, but I think when we get towards the fall festival, maybe our July and August meetings, we need to work a little, figure out what we can afford
Yep.
to buy, and,
Agreed.
they're really good about loaning it to us, but it's a trip back and forth. Stephen and I, Lance was busy, so Stephen and I set it up in the morning. We were thinking a half hour, 45 minutes. It took us an hour and a half, two of us working diligently to set it up, so it's gonna take some time to pick it up and then, get it set down.
Yeah, and that's not counting the time that it took for them to distribute everything during the middle of the week
Right,
to
right.
stage it. So, yeah.
Yeah, all we did was moved it from off the side onto that and set 4 sets of signs, or 3 sets of signs. And Stephen's kind of a rookie, but we got through it.
Okay.
No comment?
No. I have a sense somebody's not feeling hip.
We need two-way video on this.
Yeah.
His picture needs to be on the screen up there.
Okay. Next up on our agenda is the zero emissions presentation. David sent me the solar link. I just forwarded it to you guys. I've not looked at it yet, but I will just let you.
Presentation of what we're talking about. Hi, everybody. It's good to be back in Harrington. We worked with the city. So after we installed the solar project on the school, we worked with the city to apply for a Department of Commerce grant for a solar project at the sewer district. The 3 biggest costs for town of Harrington are the sewer, the well, and the streetlights. The well's in downtown Harrington, so it's also on a very small building, so we couldn't really do anything with that. Streetlights are dispersed, so we can't really do anything with the streetlights, so we looked at the sewer district. This was in conjunction with a project for the school, which is a battery project to connect to the solar project to turn Harrington School into a community resilience center, but these are 2 distinct projects. So number 1, we won $100,000 for the sewer project. Number 2, we won $499,000 for the school for a battery project. And I am here to basically tell everybody about this because maybe some people know, maybe some people don't know. A lot of this work with grants is, well, it's a problem if you win it. It's not a problem if you do all the work and you lose it. So we're in the fortunate scenario of winning this. So what does this mean for town of Harrington? Over the 30 years of that project operating, it's about $500,000 in energy savings at the sewer facility. How this works is identical to the school project where my company will develop, finance, install, own, and operate for the first 10 years, and then we transfer ownership to the town for $100 in year 11. It's always most advantageous when you own your own solar system because you control your energy destiny at that point, and that's ultimately our goal. We're working with Partners for Rural Washington, who's been helping the clerk train, so that nonprofit partner is our very strategic nonprofit relationship, which allows us to win these grants for these towns. And as a for-profit private entity, I can go finance these with a lot more revenue streams than a nonprofit can. So that's why we're doing this nonprofit-profit partnership model. The approach that we're doing for the sewer district is and I don't know if you can pull up the presentation, but if not,
I can't, I don't think I can.
oh, is it not working?
Yeah,
Okay.
his computer's not prepped to
Alright.
talk to that yet.
Is the presentation working at all? If not, I've got it live.
Yeah, it's,
Cool.
I can,
So without a roof, you can do two options. You can do a ground-mounted solar project, which is what we built in Ritzville and Freeman school districts. But more and more, we're going to these solar trackers, which follow the sun. These are dual-axis trackers, so they get about 70% more energy per panel than any sort of fixed-mounted project. So this allows us to be out of the way. So you can drive trucks under them, we don't take a lot of space, you can mow under them. Mowing's a big issue. I just spent 5 hours mowing our Ritzville project, me and a buddy. That's a long period of time to mow. So we're trying to figure out long-term, what are the best things for a town and for a project. Because you get more power per panel, you need fewer of them, which means we can do projects in places that have less amperage. So we don't need a 1,000 amperage panel, we could do something on a much smaller system. These are widely used in California and Oregon. We would be one of the first projects in Washington to use these trackers. They're rated for 120 mile an hour wind, they store flat. If it were in an urban environment, we could add parking lot lights under them. That's what we're talking about with a number of different high schools. They are electronically controlled and software controlled, so no noise, no hydraulic fluid, nothing like that to maintain. It's basically, a $120 electric motor that powers this.
how high are they again?
So at the low end, they're 14 feet. At the high end, they're about 28 to 30 feet, depending on the orientation. We've talked to the county permitting folks, because you guys have just passed a new energy permitting law. This falls under kind of it directly powers industrial use, so it does not require a county permit to go do that. They are definitely taller than your ground-mounted projects, your traditional fixed ground-mounted projects.
They refer to this as Stracker, is it STR?
Yeah, solar trackers. They've branded it Stracker.
Stracker, okay.
So that's the product OEM, or that's the manufacturer of this. There's another group out of Idaho called AgriPower, which does this in very industrial-looking extruded aluminum stuff. So if anybody irrigates for farming, that's what you want to do. But these are cuter. I do find them quite attractive. I went down to Oregon to make sure that they look good, because I do not want to build anything ugly.
Do they,
Because the wastewater treatment plant does need.
I will be taking every town to Harrington Sewer Department to go look at these things.
Okay.
The other cool thing is we don't need to be inside the sewer area. Given that you own all of the parcels around that, we could be around there, and we don't need to be within a fenced area, because all the electronics are protected and kept out of harm's way. So that's another benefit here. They're made in America, they're made in Oregon, 100% domestic steel. And, that's another benefit, because we get a 40% tax credit.
How much concrete to hold it?
You have to go down 7 feet deep, and it's about, a foot across for a foundation. You can do a wider foundation and more shallow, but the geotech and structural folks would tell me.
So they're gonna have to pound through rock here.
We've just gotten through a lot of rock and wind.
Okay.
Better bring dynamite down.
Going in open eyes, because you guys built that also through a lot of rock.
Yeah.
So that will be, our default are these trackers. Our plan B would be just a normal fixed tilt. The economics are a little bit better for this tracker, a little bit worse for the fixed tilt. But
how many
same
would you put,
ballpark.
how many?
3.
Three of them? So,
Yeah, two to three, depending on the type of module we're able to acquire.
And how big are they again, each one?
Each one fits 28 panels, and so each panel is about 7 feet, so 28 feet wide, and then you've got about 7 times 3 is 21 feet tall.
Okay.
It's 20
So it'd be
21.
about half what's on my building. My building has 40, I think. 44.
Yeah, you.
Or these panels bigger?
You see them?
They might be. I would have to
Okay.
look back at what you put on your
You
barn.
just sent it.
But there is a video of how they move. I think they're really kind of cool. But with all of these grants, all the work that we've done at the USDA, the solar project on the school, there's about $2 million worth of energy investments in the town of Harrington and the immediate vicinity related to energy that we've kind of been key in helping develop, which I think is pretty neat.
Where does the money come from? Well, you said EDC and stuff, but who's the
The Department of Commerce.
Commerce?
So Commerce pays about half, and then I fund the rest. I take the tax credit on what I fund, and then we have that contract for the 10 years. So I end up borrowing a little bit of money, paying off debt, and then, using the energy sales to the town of Harrington to
So-
create.
When you turn these over in 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
11, is that about the time when these things go kapooey and we have to?
No, the Strackers have,
Everybody else was thinking
I
that
believe,
too,
a
right?
20-year timeline.
Okay.
Warranty. The panels have a 20 to 25-year warranty, depending on what we can get. These are 30-year assets. Like, if you want me to sign a 30-year contract on this stuff, I will.
Bet you will.
This is,
And
a lot of investment up front, and then it makes money for the next 30 years.
David, where he's getting get paid back is we're effectively buying the electricity from him that
For
these
10 years.
generate.
Yeah.
That rate is less than what we're gonna be paying for the same kilowatt at Avista.
Correct.
So we're saving money, he's making money.
Okay.
We're about 10% less than Avista, and the rate escalates at a guaranteed 2.5% rather than 25%.
Does this do anything with taxes, being a power generator? Kind of like I'm going back to like the turbines when they come through because you're energy generator, that something to do with taxes. I'm not understanding
Yeah,
how
so
that
like a
all
big
went.
wind farm, they just
Yeah.
passed a bill in the legislature which made that a flat, fixed rate for 20 years, so the tax burden doesn't get shared with the residential people. I think maybe you might know more. Yeah, 1960. So they've solved that. They have not made that available for small scale projects. So the this would be a $100,000 asset that would go into the tax base. So as it depreciates, yes, that would need to come from somewhere else. I'm currently talking with Max Newman in Lincoln County about our Harrington project on the school, to be like, guys, this is not a $300,000 asset. That was paid for by Avista.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that gets resolved. Ultimately, for any solar project, an assessor looks at houses, right? 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom. He might not be so familiar with power, so there should just be like a fixed calculation, like $1 per kilowatt. So hopefully we get there, but we are adding to the tax base in Lincoln County and paying taxes in this model.
Okay.
My only question is, your contract for us
Mhm.
will be delivered when?
My question for you is, do we know more about the sewer upgrades?
Just, the engineering is at, Department of Ecology right now.
Okay, so you have plans and.
They have plans, yeah.
Okay, can you share those with me so I can,
Can I have you reach out to Stephen Marsh
Yes.
directly and
Yes.
keep me
Yep.
keep me in the loop, but out of the I
Yeah.
don't want to be the middleman for the information.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, I can do that. So the contract, I've got a draft of it. It's the identical contract to the school. And the moment I know which plan we're doing, I'll share it.
Okay.
Signing that contract, I will go and buy the trackers, put a deposit on them. They've got, they had a project on New Mexico fall through, so they've got some trackers that they really want to move at a good price. I really want to get those.
So these folks need to approve the contract, and before they see it, it needs to go through legal. So that's and if those are available, then that sounds like there's a sense of urgency to
Yeah,
get this done. Okay.
It's a 30-year project. If we miss out on that deal, whatever. I'm not gonna rush anything. I want you guys to understand what's going on, rather than saying go now. Because nobody likes to be in that position.
Yeah.
So that's where we are at this point. So if, in talking to the engineer for the sewer system, it sounded like the energy usage at the sewer will increase.
I
Actually,
quite honestly have not had that conversation.
All right.
I know that he had to develop a complete new electrical plan, and because there had not been one previously.
Yep.
So,
Okay. If there's a lot of work going inside those fence areas, you have that building right next to the sewer system, which I believe is Internet.
yes.
Okay. Because those are owned by the town and they're on the same parcel and they're all in Avista's account, we could connect into that building and then share the credits with the sewer system right next door. So we have a couple different ways of actually connecting, depending on the amount of involvement that that sewer upgrade's gonna take.
Lance, is the panel for the sewer system in the lab? Or is it on that?
No, it's over there, and
it's
it is
on
a
the farm.
3-phase panel. I've had that at
Okay.
Avista confirm that.
Okay.
Yep. Which is only being like half utilized right now
Yeah.
too, so.
So, okay.
So there's a little bit of work there to just figure out exactly the system that will do. Then I can populate the contract. I can share with you a draft version of that contract. What would change is like the solar rate. Maybe it's 11 cents, maybe it's 11.5 cents. But everything else would be
Yeah,
the same.
the key thing is the verbiage, the specifics we can add in,
Mhm.
so.
Yep.
Yeah,
I will share that tonight.
okay, cool.
That was, the only question we were talking was, Jim and I were talking today, instead of buying power from Avista, we're buying it from you for
You
10
can
years.
Still pay Avista.
Oh, we
Avista
do.
never goes away.
Okay.
And it's just you would pay Avista whatever you consume in addition to.
Right. But what we consume off the panels, we are paying you for that,
Correct,
correct?
at a cheaper rate. So
Right.
on Avista, you're on rate 31, I believe, or rate 11. I can check. But it's about 13.5 cents. Next year, Avista's going up to 15 cents. We would be at about 11 or 12.
Okay. In 10 years, it's ours.
And in 10 years, it's ours, and we have a fixed escalator because I don't have any fuel cost.
So we're actually paying the Avista bill, it's just that we will use less electricity
Correct.
through what we get from the panels to you, and that will lower the bill.
Correct.
Cause,
Okay.
cause these pumps are still gonna be running at night.
and it stays fixed, because Avista has different tiers all the time. If you know, between 0 and this usage, it's this price. Over that, yours is just gonna stay consistently that.
My price won't change.
Okay.
My price is what that price is, depending on that tier for Avista. So Avista, if you're a commercial user, your rates kind of go up the more you use, but your rates are low in the beginning. If you're a residential user, your rates go down the more you use. No, sorry, it's backwards. If you're residential, it goes up the more you use. If you're commercial, it goes down the more you use. Huh, where does that go? So in general, like, if I have this 2-tiered system, I assume the cheaper tier
Right.
for a commercial system so that, like, I'm competing against the cheaper one. In the winter months, if we produce more than you use at your solar system, we'll be going up against the higher one, but I can't know in real time what am I offsetting, so I always make sure I'm at the cheaper.
It would be possible that we would get credits during the summertime and burn them in the wintertime.
Yep.
I assume March 31st is the cutoff.
Correct, yep,
Okay.
and what we've done at the school is we just do flat billing. So it doesn't matter if it's June or January, it's the same monthly bill, and then in January we do a true up. Because, especially for the school would be paying more in the summertime when they're not in the building. So we've just kind of peanut buttered that across from a seasonality standpoint. So every month I'm getting $225 from Harrington School District. And then in January, I either owe them $50 or they owe me $50.
Okay.
we've got some really good examples in this town of our work.
Do they go over the usage and still rely on Avista then?
Yes. So
they
we
have
are
been?
gonna do about 95% of the school. Since they moved to the 4-day school day, school week, I don't know. Well, you might know more about how that energy usage has fallen.
No, we keep asking about that, we haven't, no one's been able to
Okay.
tell us that, but we know it's gone down.
Yeah.
It absolutely has gone down, so.
So I sized it to about 95% of that before they went to a 4-day, so we might be donating some power to Avista at the school, but our contract with the school, because we got such a large grant, is 85% less than Avista.
Whatever happened to solar energy and wind energy and generating in Avista or any company having to buy it back at a discount?
So that is called net billing, I believe, and Pacific Core has just announced that that's what they're doing. So
Okay.
Avista still has net metering, which means it doesn't matter when you use power, your solar power is valued at your retail rate. In net billing, it's about half of the retail rate. We just finished a project at Pullman High School called Net Perpa, where if we send electrons to Avista's grid, we're getting paid hydro rates. So it's about 3 cents a kilowatt hour versus 12 if the school can directly use it. But we did that because the high school is so large in Pullman that we're so rarely sending electrons to them.
Okay.
Then, any other questions about solar? From a timeline, let's say if everything's perfect, send you the contract, let's say July 4th, everything, you guys have reviewed it, we've got all the details from the engineers, and we could sign a contract. At that moment, we're probably looking at having this project built this year.
Okay. Well, then I would say our goal is to our July 8th would be our next council meeting
Okay?
to have these guys sign off on it, so, yeah, the sooner I have the contract to get to our, so, okay.
From a financing replicability, I really do not have much ability to change like terms in the contract, because I'm bundling all of these contracts together to sell tax credits to large investors, and they will just like walk away if I can't say everything's like
yeah,
that.
that's not the kind of stuff we're looking at.
Okay.
This is not a negotiation for the best terms, it's to make sure that everyone knows which side of the fence
Sure.
they're supposed to live on.
Totally. And then for the battery, this is a longer, same grant, same structure, with Department of Commerce. It is not good practice, in my opinion, just to build a battery at the school district and say, Lincoln County's resilient, and walk away. That's a much more involved conversation between the county, between the town, between the school, to say, what does it mean? How does this operate? What happens if the grid goes down? Who gets to use this? So let's say there's a fire in Ritzville or in Davenport, and people need a place to shelter. Harrington could be that place. Harrington will always be on 10 months out of the year, but that's where our risk is really in, March to November, December. And I wanna just make sure that we have all the protocols in place, because what we're trying to do here with this project is develop a blueprint for any Eastern Washington community to copy Harrington. In all of these towns that we've been to, the schools are the buildings to make resilient. Solar plus storage is the only real way that you can do that from a technological standpoint without a gigantic generator. And that's not what the state wants to fund, so let's play by those rules. While a natural gas generator might in fact be the best solution. I didn't get $499,000 for a natural gas generator. Since we got the contract signed literally today with the Department of Commerce, we're gonna start these conversations, and we also wanna make sure that the town has a say in that to see how does this used. So this is a longer journey. I will say there is a big problem with batteries in Washington is that solar makes revenue, so we can pay for things like insurance and operating costs. Batteries are gigantic paperweights. The only entity that can make money with battery is named Avista. So I do have a dream where Avista owns that battery and they make money and they gift the school resiliency. So they get to pay for maintenance and insurance. That's what I'm working on with Avista. I will be with the head of Clean Energy on Friday for about 5 hours, so I am really going to push this one hard. And then we, Avista's struggle with batteries is they go, well, they don't make enough money to, have a good ROI. Well, if we have a $500,000 grant and a 30% tax credit, come on, guys, like, we could all figure out how this has a return. So that is I will not move forwards with that project for the town or for the school unless we can make sure that there's no additional cost to the county, the school, or the town.
Cool, works for me. It sounds like we are all gonna need to get on the same page at some point in time. So,
That will, we have in our budget to like come and lead discussions and make sure that the county is, I assume you're the county representative, yeah, that everybody is on board, especially the emergency folks in the county. We need to get to really detailed stuff like who has the software to control this? What are the limits around that? Like, how do you fix it? So those are things that I'm sure there's a plan maybe that exists at the county for emergencies, and I've been disconnected from that, right?
I think it's being built right now.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
using the fairgrounds, and
Okay.
we do have, emergency management plans, and,
So
this
layering
would be
this into
fantastic.
it as like, hey, this is an option
Absolutely.
if the event that the power is off, right? So that's essentially where that is. But in the summertime, unlimited resiliency with how big that solar system is.
Cool.
Also, another cool thing to come visit Harrington for. Go check out the battery, go check out the Strackers,
Sounds like a tourist destination to me.
get the hotel up and running, we'll bring some, foreigners in. Sorry to take like an hour in this.
We got a fishing pond there and everything.
Any questions about this hypothetical battery that, once again, if we get to this point, you will all have been involved in more discussions than I think you want.
I'm good for now.
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool. Okay. Shall we move on?
I'm good, thank you.
The next topic is the contract review and acceptance for the ballot box. That's with the county. We do not have that contract yet, but I will take the opportunity to tell you what it's about. To put it bluntly, the state is not fond of our portable ballot box. Have not been for a while. So much so that the county was able to secure a grant, and they will be looking to install a permanent affixed ballot box. And they've got more than one. Right now, we're the only one outside of the county seat where people can drop ballots off. I think it's Odessa and Wilbur.
Or the two new ones,
The two
yeah.
new ones.
Mhm.
So there'll be two new ones, again, permanently affixed. But the goal is to basically put up a drive-through ballot box that's effectively in the same spot. It'll just be permanently affixed. And we've already drawn up some plans on how to do it. We'll give up a parking space.
How about the library? The building, kind of like an ATM machine thing.
No, it has to be drive up, so it'll be.
Well, they do have drive. Okay.
The one that they're getting will be drive up, and then when it's not being used, it'll have a cover or something like that that goes over it, so it's not. We're just working out the fine details, and that's what we don't have. The contract's good. There were just a couple of areas that were not addressed, and Chandra got back to me today and said she would work with their attorney to kind of incorporate those into the agreement, and then we can go forward.
So, the reasoning for a drive-up ballot box instead of putting it into the mail, which you can do either now, is it cheaper for the county for them to have the? No.
No, we're really struggling, staffing and everything. We have to be in Wilbur, Harrington, Davenport, and Odessa at 8 o'clock you know, and 2 people per, you know,
Right.
rig, and, yeah, we're really struggling with the logistics of it and everything, and just having to follow state rules, so it's
So-
frustrating.
So why are we doing it? When we can walk to the post office, which is secure.
Yeah,
I know I have no say in this, but it just seems really strange.
Well, and I think that there's both of them might actually be in front of the post office in that town. It's stupid. It really is. It's horrible. So, but we are, you know, of course, we got a brand new law that we're trying to.
This is coming down from the state, the law.
Oh, it's not us.
But we aren't required to have a ballot box in Harrington, are we?
I think every town is supposed to, and there was a letter that was written.
Does
to
Reardon
all-
have one?
Well, there was a letter that was sent out to all municipalities, and if you guys didn't respond, then we tried. It's,
So maybe we shouldn't have responded. Maybe we.
Well,
That was before my time,
Well,
so.
I'm just curious about. I mean, I've often thought when you can take a wheel tractor and pick up the ballot box and take it home and put in what you want, it seems,
was
and then bring it
nice,
back.
well, and especially, it's free to mail it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Isn't it covering post office, mail goes out at whatever is postmarked at that
and then
time?
it's going to Spokane,
And goes to Spokane and goes back, but aren't they covering from 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock so that you can vote on that day and still
Yeah.
get your ballot in by procrastinating till the very last minute?
Yeah, so, and then there's also a debate too of
a good
the
point.
postmark of, you know, when it goes to Spokane, is it postmarked, or when it hits, you know,
Right.
Davenport, and, yeah, so they're eliminating that as well, but just giving additional options for posting your vote.
Working in conjunction with a drive-through, drive-up to the post office? That
You
it's
know, that's-
secured and in there, I mean,
I don't know
Who-
what, I think that these have to be specific, you know, sizes, shapes, drive up, for, you know, access, so.
And we wonder why we're
Thank Olympia.
$37 trillion in debt.
Olympia for this.
Just-
Yeah, if in-person voting would be awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. So,
interesting.
is this out of our pocket then to
No,
do this? This
this
is out of the
is-
county's pocket.
Not out of the counties
It's
either.
out of the
It's a
state's.
grant. They're getting a grant to purchase them, and I'm assuming there's some left in there for kind of the overhead cost of installing it. But we don't have to do anything. We're just gonna take that parking space and we're gonna designate it not a parking space anymore.
What a
and
waste of
Well, how-
tax dollars. Just,
We'll put a park bench there and a garbage can and.
well, you know, you think about that, I mean, honestly, parking's kind of a premium at certain times when the functions are going on. I hate giving up a parking spot for that. I wish there was some other alternative.
From a security, because we don't want to put a camera on it, that's a whole different conversation I would rather not have right now, but at least that space can be lit up easily.
You put it up there at the restrooms.
Yeah.
That's what you do all your-
Well, that's been going.
Oh boy, are we on
But no, I just, you know, if businesses down there parking, I don't know, it's kind of a,
do we need a motion to accept this?
No, because there's nothing to accept.
Okay.
yeah.
It's on the agenda. I don't have a contract for you to
Okay.
vote on. But since it's on the agenda, I wanted to bring it
Okay.
up and let
Okay.
you guys know what was up because you guys hadn't heard much about this. Okay, moving on. Tree waste in designated areas. You guys wanted to wait until Lance was able to be present. This topic was brought up about having a space in the city where people can bring not green waste, but branches and logs and other wood.
Well, I think it was to take the place of the green waste bin, wasn't it?
No.
As an additional.
We're not able to get rid of that.
Because we can't burn grass,
Apple, I've gone through.
garden waste.
I've gone through with not ecology, but the ag department and everything. This apple maggot quarantine, which I don't know how to break, requires that we have that.
Let's see,
Actually, I do know how to break it, but
Does
I
apple
don't see that
maggots-
happen in my lifetime.
yeah, I don't believe apple maggots attached to what's going in there.
If they find one in the community, we're branded.
And they take it out of the county anyway, or the area anyways.
No, they take it. We
What?
take it out to.
It's
there's a
still
secure
in the
place.
county.
Well, I mean, it goes out of the quarantine area.
Yeah, but
No.
they have to have it covered. They have to have it. You know, it's not.
I don't think it's going out of the quarantine area. It goes up to Bartek. And that's still in Lincoln County.
Right, that's all apple maggot. All of Lincoln County, except from Waukon.
He said something.
The phone is talking.
Yes.
One thing that I was curious about with this is we had talked about the concept of having an area for tree contractors to be able to dump their waste. Because we've had instances where people have trees taken down by a contractor and then they go try to fill up the green waste bin. And so I think where this could start, it can certainly go to a point of having the citizens directly go into that area under supervision and with proper checks and stuff. But I think the easiest one is formalizing a policy to make it so that the tree contractors can go in and dump there, because every pound that we're not putting into the green waste bin is one less pound that we're paying for. And if we can trust the tree contractor to not be putting the sofas in there, like things that we were seeing up at the burn pile, then that should be safe and a good way for us to save money with it. But I think that was the first thing that was on my mind with this topic, was clearing that with Lance, of making sure that there's a designated location, a policy for them to come and get a key, or I guess I don't know if we have that locked off. We don't. I don't know if there's a gate there, right?
Yes.
But having that all be officially okayed, that there's not too many tree contractors around, so hopefully they would, in short order, we could get information to them that's like, please don't go fill up the green waste bin. There's a place for you here. Then with that established, there would be a separate conversation here for the council as to whether, last time we had this came up, we were talking about maybe having designated days. But again, the core problem that we're looking to address with this is the same reason why the burn pile got shut down up there in the first place, is that unfortunately we cannot trust the citizenry to not put dump items in with green waste.
You mean construction material?
Yeah, all sorts of other things. So my opinion would be, if we ever did give citizens access to that area, it would have to be on designated times, and somebody would have to be the one looking at those loads. And I'm not exactly sure. There would probably be some degree of interest from the public, but I think if you told everyone it was only going to be on this day a month from X hours to Y hours, I think you get significantly less interest, because people want to do their yard waste thing on their own time. And with the green waste bin, anyone can go down any time of day and put it in there. But I don't know, it'd be maybe worth a try, but it's also going to be designated time for one of our employees to sit there and have to babysit those loads.
Can anybody tell me, refresh my mind, why we don't charge somebody for dumping in that bin right now?
The biggest issue we can. Who's going to watch and manage and maintain and administer that? It's just,
That's true, but we could charge for that.
we can, but again,
We'd have to put it in a fenced area, and
we'd
somebody
we'd
would have to man
police it.
it.
We'd have somebody have to be watching
The
it.
cost of
and
the employee would be more than the dump fee, I'm sure.
that's kind of been the logic. But yes, we can, and it's been suggested more than once.
Well, I know like Kootenai County in Idaho, your property taxes they take out for those
I think there's.
And they do that.
I think
So,
there's
but I hate-
municipalities here in Lincoln County that have some sort of check and balance to do that, but
But how, are we for sure, outside of the community, how many people use that versus people that should be using it? Cause we're putting the bill. I mean, how many times, so that thing's always full. And you can only cram that thing, you can only stuff it with a backhoe so much. And it looks like a
this time of
pregnant
year,
beetle
what,
with,
every other week we're having it emptied at
At
this point?
least this time of year, sometimes once a week.
Looks like $300 a dump.
And I squish it at least 4 times before I call it off, just to get our money out of it, you know.
Yeah. Solid waste actually has a bigger bin.
150, okay, thank you.
Solid waste actually has a bigger bin than what we have, but it's also much taller, so we would have to set it in a pit and have
That
it.
ain't gonna work.
Um,
You're gonna be picking a lot up off the floor if you get taller, because people will just go.
well,
"Oh,
no,
I
what I'm
can't."
saying is they'd have to lower it down below grade, so the top was obtainable, but then you have a trip and fall hazard when it's not there during the other times, and
Let's build taller stairs.
Well, we're worried about saving money and stuff and pinching pennies, which you should, but that's why the suggestion was, if people, instead of loading that dang bin up all the time, that, you have a burn pile and once a year in the fall or winter, you burn it, torch it and get rid of it, the burnables. And you're not overtaxing or, burdening the city.
so.
I think Davenport is it a fall or a spring cleanup day?
Mm-hmm.
And the old dump, on the airport road there, they have a day where they allow people to bring yard waste, trees, whatever, on that day. But it's not every day of a month or anything like that. It's maybe once or twice a year. And possibly that would help, some of these people will pile these branches up, and if they know that this is the weekend, that they can haul them off. I don't know if it would work, but then we could monitor.
What Lance had suggested, and interrupt me if you need to, but we choose one day a week that is designated to drop stuff off. The person that was dropping it off would come here, check in, and we would know that we would have to have a person available to go inspect it and let them in to dump it. But it's
To
only
police it.
during a day, and the gate stays closed until we have somebody specific. That way we see what's going in.
But
and
it's gonna interfere with your work,
I got
I
boot
mean,
now,
every
so-
once in a while you get a call and somebody's gotta run down there, that.
Yeah. So if we just designated, maybe make it a whole day, once a month, or something like that.
I think that'd be better than trying to do it once a week.
Once a week, that adds up.
Yeah,
But I was also thinking, make the green bin leaves and grass trimmings only, and then the bigger stuff can go down to the burn pit. Save your bigger stuff for that day.
that's
Down
possible.
there.
That's a novel
That's a good
concept.
idea.
Your marketing plan.
It's a good idea, it's just getting people to follow the rules. That's where you've got the problem.
Well, moving forward, do you want us to just come up with a plan and present it to you guys?
Sure.
Okay.
I know what's gonna happen though.
It's all gonna go in the bin.
I cut a tree down the day after the things open. Well, I don't want it sitting in my yard or my pickup, so down to the green bin. Not me in particular, but maybe me.
Have you seen me do this? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I have sawed a tree down and I debranched it, but I put the chunks in there. It was empty when I did. It makes a big noise when you throw a big log in there.
Maybe put that part of your plan to keep in mind more frequent,
Have if
certain hours.
you do have that situation, have them come to the office and say, hey, is Lance available to open the burn pit for a minute? And they call me and say yes or no. Yes, okay. Meet me down there. I open it, watch them dump it, close it up behind them.
Yeah.
Where I live, you have to pay City Hall a fee to get the key to drive your waste up and dump it, and then you have to bring the key back. And there's usually nobody there. I think they just kind of take a peek at your car, like what you got in there. before you head up the hill to the locked gate.
Didn't they have that, wasn't that the case up here
Kind of, yeah.
for a while?
Kinda, but
Wasn't it? I mean, we never used it, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so like, hey, you know,
And I think you could probably get in there without a key if you needed to.
well, the whole point is to alleviate, to help out the citizenry and to alleviate a bigger bill for that. And if they get out of line, they're banned for life and voted off the island. I don't know, but then you just, you know, people gotta
I
pull
agree
their head
with
out
you.
of their backside.
I agree, but the problem is
I know.
enforcing that,
Well,
you know?
we got a code enforcement guy.
Yeah,
That will park Mike down there.
I'll give him my baseball bat with the barbed wire on it.
You might need something more than that tear gas at a billy
Well-
club.
yes, sir.
May I interject?
Yes.
I have 2 house guests from Yuma, and I'd like to get back to them, but I just wanted to say I'm deeply humbled by the gesture. Thank you very much, one and all.
You're more than welcome,
Very
Peter.
welcome.
Welcome, Peter. Thank you.
You take care of yourself.
Yep, thank you.
And don't be a stranger.
Pardon?
Don't be a stranger. Come in. Take care, Peter.
All right.
So-
So
You'll work on a proposals for.
Lance and I will come up with a plan. We'll present it to you guys to start tweaking off that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance 520. This is a new ordinance. This basically will give us the ability to codify what you guys agreed to when it comes to the special events in the city. So, we just need to. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it. Here's
I've
the
got that.
document. Okay.
I have a, well, I got it.
Dinner on the stove.
Okay. Thanks,
See you, Lance. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem, guys.
The only thing I could see, maybe I misread this or overread it somewhere in here, but when it talks about, I think it's the application section 3. And when it says the city, no, that's not it. The definition of city, I think, the number 1, you know, in any event organizer proposing a special event that requires their services and stuff, traffic devices shall notify the city no less. Okay, who's the city at this point? Is it just Lance, the mayor, the clerk, a councilman? I mean, who? You know what I mean? I think that needs to be spelled out.
City Hall.
City Hall, you know, something of that nature. Takes out the ambiguities and I don't know. I told the guy mowing the cemetery, it happens to be Creighton. Okay.
Under definitions, you said?
There's something that we know that when it says to notify the city, either
Or are you saying an added definition for?
it would make
The city.
who is the city?
Well, I wouldn't put it under definition of who is the city, because there's other sections in there where it's talking about the city responsibility, and we wouldn't want to define that down to the clerks to imply that they should be putting out the roadsides or anything, but we should probably amend it to say that any instance where we're talking about notifications, that the notifications should be received by the clerk. And I would agree with David's point, because unfortunately we have ran into instances in the past where people have notified the city, but it was a public works employee who maybe wasn't aware that they were the one receiving the notification, or it was the mayor and that connection didn't get made. Like historically, you wouldn't think it, but we have had problems with ingestion of information, and I think that is worth specifying.
Thank you, Stephen.
Okay.
One other thing I would mention though for amending this is that I have a problem with section 2, item 1 for special event designation. The last portion of that where it says or other city approval, I think is rather vague, and the thing that we discussed at the last meeting was to, at least for this time frame, limit this down to events that would require road closures. So in my opinion, if we strike off the or other city approval, I'm fine with that, but because it doesn't define what or other city approval is, then I think that leaves open to say that anything that happens on city property, this document can't apply to, and I don't believe that's how we left it in the last meeting.
Okay. Agreed.
Me too.
And are we protected with the park, the fall festival up there, or any type of other large event, maybe possibly in the future? Does this pigeonhole us in any way?
Well, this can be amended and changed. The purpose of this was
Yeah.
specifically to address
Okay.
events that close the city roads.
Well, if that's the case, I might have a little trouble with porta potties.
Where we got?
Section 6. It would almost seem to me like that is pushing the Lions Club to rent porta potties for the fall festival when there's restrooms up there.
And
It
who's
just says-
going to determine how many?
Yeah.
Section 6.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Well, I think number one, if you take number one out, because there are events that have that do, for example, the car show got porta potties on their own volition, and that number two simply addresses that you're not just going to drop them anywhere. You're going to put them in a place that's logical, safe, and out of the way.
That, I would probably be okay with that. That isn't forcing, number one forces you to rent porta potties.
So just strike number one in its entirety.
That would be my feelings.
Okay.
There you go, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice meeting you.
With those two things that we changed, I move we accept this. Ordinance 520.
Second.
Even second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second on ordinance 520. Any further discussion?
Not here.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? All opposed? Stephen, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, yes, aye.
Okay, got it. Okay, 5-0.
Sorry, a lot going on around here right now.
Okay, we'll make those corrections before it gets signed and sent off to be published. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is review fee structure. Cassie, did we have something to look at on that? I hate to ask.
On the existing sheet,
Was this adopting return to fees happened in the workshop?
I don't know if those in the workshops, I wasn't there, but the maintenance fee. You had your little notes here. I don't know what you guys had discussed about that.
Let me do this, let me write this up and we'll
In
address it.
Springbrook, there are maintenance fees already established, but a few customers, especially longtime ones, are currently paying utility maintenance rates. So
Okay.
they're not in the current fee schedule, they're in Springbrook. And that's why some customers have it, some don't. Some get to be inactive and not pay anything, like, we're trying to get some cohesion in billing.
Well, let Steve and I work on putting this down so that they have something that can be.
Yeah, you guys had discussed last time a fee of, what was it, $50 for, events, for the road closures.
Yeah, well, in what we just passed,
Yeah,
there's
that's written in the 520.
in the contract, $50 and $250.
So we've got to update the fee structure anyway by resolution here in the next month or so. So we'll just get all that cleaned up and present, because I've got notes on here from when we had our workshop also. So, okay, we'll table that for now. Okay, Norman's World Animal Rescue. There was an organization in Lincoln County that not a lot of people, they really don't do a lot. They don't really advertise a lot what they do, but they do a huge amount here. They are, for lack of a better term, they're almost as if they're the animal shelter unofficially for Lincoln County. And they've been doing it with grants and donations and what have you, but they've gotten to the point now where the cost of operating is exceeding their generosity and ability. Wilbur, I believe it was,
Yes.
adopted basically to pay them $200 a month to basically help cover the costs that they incur in general for the county. You know, Wilbur benefits from it. I just heard that they collected 4+ cats from Harrington just recently. Did it without any fanfare or big to-do. So they, when an animal gets lost or they're just not getting picked up or recovered, they're inevitably the ones where it goes to until they can, like I said, they're effectively acting like a rural, it's Lincoln County Lost and Found Pet Network, you know, but it's unofficial.
Is this something maybe our commissioner could sit in on in this discussion? I know she's outside, but,
Do you wanna set this aside until she's back?
well, the county, it'd be interesting to see what the county's view is on this, rather than just the cities.
Okay.
How does Harrington currently go to this Norman's place?
Unofficially.
Unofficially?
It's not an official site, it's word of mouth.
In other words,
they
yeah,
call
it's
her
word of
out.
mouth.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, where are they at, Norman's?
They're in Sprague.
Habitat in Sprague.
Oh, Sprague, okay. And so if you have an animal here that you have an issue with, who drives it over there and pays it? I mean,
If somebody calls Gina and she comes and gets it. Most recently, there was a cat that had its hind leg ripped off, and she came and got it, and they were able to get it rehabbed and adopted out.
okay.
There
No
was
comment.
There was a dog that was running through town. Somebody had dropped off the road, and what was that? Was it during
It was
the
a fall
last year?
festival.
Fall festival. Yeah, and it was wandering around, the friendliest dog in the
We always
world, and
had
it was
stray
wandering
dogs in
around
town.
here, kind of getting pet by this person and that person. It was very obvious that it had just been dropped off and abandoned, and it ended up there.
Was there any way, you know, just from the, I'm not in favor of just giving them a fee to run. But on a user basis, is there any way we can?
Like pay
the
them
owners-
per animal?
Yeah, type thing. Is it just by donations? I mean, I guess the commissioner, because I mean, we already pay taxes for a lot of stuff, and I don't know if there's anything in there.
That's what
I brought it up to the county commissioners right after I became mayor, and they made it abundantly clear that they do not have a shelter and they have no intention on funding one or putting one on the books.
Yeah, so this is just,
And any outfit from Spokane doesn't come any further than Davenport.
I talked to Spokane Humane Society, and they said if we had an animal here that was abandoned,
we just drop
as long as
off
it
the
wasn't
herd now.
vicious, we could get it to them and they would take it in.
Well,
That was on us to take it to them.
I know somebody was trapping the large amount of cats that are up on Adams Street and taking them out to Brian Armstrong's, and he's got them out, and they're happy as can be,
Well, you
eating,
know,
getting all the mice.
I helped with one of those last week.
All right, thank you.
Jill Barth works
And we
with
missed
Gina
about
a
50.
lot, and
what?
especially when they have these neutering clinics where they
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
capture.
That's
what
when
was that again?
Jill Barth works closely with her, especially
Oh, okay.
when they have
Yeah,
these
Gina
neutering
coordinates
clinics.
the low-cost pet clinics.
they need to come up and get some of those cats because there's just a fresh batch of kittens that were born. So
So
Do we have, I know Odessa does, I believe, you have to license your cats, or was it that, was one of the
we
towns
do
around here?
not
We
have
do
a
not
cat
have a cat
license.
thing, we have a dog.
We have a
But,
dog license. We have a restriction on dogs to only 2.
Yeah, that's not really,
That ain't happening either.
but,
Which, I mean, my personal opinion, I'm glad there's a 2 dog limit because I love dogs and I would be inclined to have 4 or 8 just because they
it's a
need a
rough
home.
neighborhood.
But so I'm thankful for that. But I am sensitive that there are some people out there that have 3-4 Chihuahuas, and I guarantee you, my one dog weighs more than the sum of all 4 of those.
Those are called bait
chew
to some
toys.
people. But cats, you know, kind of the town, I get it, they, you know, they're almost like a rabbit, but I mean, they,
We got those too.
usually life kind of takes care of them with the coyotes around.
Not up here.
Well, you guys quit getting rid of the coyotes.
haven't touched it.
No, I'm
It's
not.
the
I'm not
hawks
one
and
of
the
those guys
owls
that
in
likes
my
to shoot
neighborhood.
the coyotes.
No, they used to come in our backyard all the time. You see them.
So Joe,
Quite
you're
regular.
back, and we have kind of a topic that is going to be county related.
I think I'd leave again.
We'll
I
be
wouldn't
easy.
have come back.
Run.
We'll go easy on you.
Just a quick down, the county and animal control. As you know, I went and talked to you guys right after I became mayor, and it was pretty clear that the county is not going
We
to
have
fund
no
anything.
animal ordinance, and we are not interested in an animal ordinance at all.
He quoted you verbatim.
I think that's
Maybe we ought to adopt an ordinance like that too.
Perfect.
So anyway, I think this organization is a benefit to the city. And, I mean, it's up to you, but I do feel that the city should be able to support them in some way. And it's not gonna be every time, but, you know, for a month, nothing may happen, but all of a sudden there's 4 or 8 cats that they pick up and get rehomed.
And Wilbur's paying him $200 a month, correct?
Yeah.
I kind of like David's idea of addressing it based on usage. I would suggest, at least for my vote, that if they gave us a quarterly report on how many animals they took in, I would like to see us assign some kind of a monetary value that is not required at this point, but would be an understanding amongst the council that unless we are in a financial bind that we will come to an agreement that we'll pay something per animal.
I'd be in favor of that too.
I agree. I think we need something that's by the, you know, we can't just give them a wide open, here it is, here's $200 a month, and
No.
we don't know how much we're getting for that.
And they're catching one cat a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, but if there's more, then we need to, you know, if we have, buy the item, I think that's the way we need to go.
Yeah. I have a picture too. Photographic evidence.
Okay. Proof of life, is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. How about this? I will reach out to Norman's World and get some assessments of what they feel like that their cost is for doing that kind of stuff. For a
Yeah,
dog
let them know
versus
we're
a cat.
favorable to support it, but we just need a little better.
Okay. Okay. You guys good with that resolution or that solution for now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. I don't have anything that's posted guidelines for the cemetery, but what I heard earlier is you guys are not opposed to having something written down that basically tells the public works people guidelines on plastic, artificial flowers. How long do you wait till natural flowers are wilted and completely dead, or at what point in time?
Well, to that point, Mr. Mayor, is either I know some, like we talked, some cemeteries ban them, period. Some only allow flowers, decorations that, not all the gravestones, headstones have it, but if they come with their own receptacle for them, that's the only way they allow them. Harrington's been very liberal and free about that to the people, over the years. But I know that it is a pain in the rump to go pick them all up later. But at the same token, is there something that we want to look at, like just limit it to the one, you can only use the receptacle, you know what I'm talking about, they're pre-made there. Like I said, a lot of them don't have that.
You mean
Most
for
of them don't.
fake flowers or?
No, they're
or
a,
flowers?
Either one.
it's a
Just
base
that.
that goes down.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either
so-
one, but it's,
My thought about just the fresh flowers, most people that put just cut fresh flowers, being a coffee can too, so the
Picking
guys
it up.
are still picking something up.
Yeah, yeah.
And for instance, this Memorial Day weekend, we went to 12 cemeteries, decorated over 40 graves, and was all with fake flowers. Most cemeteries pick them up the next week. We're the only one that doesn't. We went to one cemetery that only would take fresh flowers, though, too. But they were in cans, and so the cemetery still had to pick them up. It also was mowed a whole lot better than ours. It looked like a golf course.
well, the grass is not, I don't know what happened, but doesn't have the green color, vibrant green.
I think that was a spray issue, but
Are
that
we-
be
are
that
we
what it may.
watering less?
I'm just speaking for my opinion. I'm not against the fake flowers, but I do think it would behoove us, and that isn't going to work for hardly anybody, but you go pick them up after a week. Or we have in theory, have somebody hired to help up there. That's what they do. They get a big old rolling garbage can, and that next week after Memorial Day, they pick up all the fake flowers and throw them away.
Okay, I got one for you. How about other decorations?
Well, there is other decorations. There's so much crap up there.
I know, so.
Pinwheels.
Yeah.
Trees,
Well,
all
yes,
of that.
and I-
But anything that isn't, I guess,
Nailed down.
growing.
Yeah.
Well,
But even the growing stuff,
We've
we need
got-
to have no no control over people putting plants or trees, or there's trees.
Right.
That were little
Yeah, some of
trees
them.
are big trees now, they're overgrown, and I think we need to address more than just the decorations, it's more the, you can't plant a garden
Yeah,
50
no
feet
more
around.
planting trees.
Yeah. But,
So,
something we could possibly do is, just say, you will have a week to remove your flowers,
If not,
And
they'll
other
be gone.
decorations.
and other decorations, the second week, we will remove them to aid in,
I know Odessa picks them up the next week. Wilbur does too.
so not to get too far into
The weeds.
bad pun. This is really, really in the beginning phases of feasibility. But Lance was pointing out, now that we've kind of got that area, all the trees, branches and stuff they used to kind of pile up there and then they burn them. Well, they're not doing that anymore. They're doing that, but not there, because then they were mixing it in with the nice clean dirt. Now the nice clean dirt's filled with twigs and not okay. Moving over, that same corner. The thought is that we will build planter boxes of some sort using existing materials and existing dirt, and then have a relationship with FFA, and they plant flowers. And as they grow, the public can just come and help themselves to clip flowers and what have you, and decorate their graves right there with organic material that's grown on site by FFA.
Sounds good, but I don't think it'll go.
I don't think it'll go.
And
I just think it's one more thing that will work for a year or two, and then you've got a big mess in the corner.
it'll fizzle out.
Well, it's dirt, and I was talking about using these clay pipes that we can't use for sewer anymore as the basis. It sounded feasible. The superintendent thought it was worth exploring. when I approached
For
him.
a May 30th, you aren't going to have any flowers if they're outside. They would have to bring them from the greenhouse and plant them that week.
Or they get them. They just grow them there to begin with.
Well,
But
but
they
they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be
matured by
there on May 30th.
I'm not saying May 30th. They could be there on
Well,
April
but
15th, or
They
or
are
whenever
not
they're-
going
whenever
to
they-
probably decorate the. I'm just trying to be practical on this. 12 cemeteries, 40 graves. I've seen. I see what works and what does not work, and even the ones in Spokane, all fake flowers. You don't hardly see any fresh flowers, but they're gone the next week. The only place that was only fresh flowers was one in Richland.
Where?
In Richland.
Which one?
So can we do this?
Yeah,
Since we
Well,
don't have anything written
we don't
down?
need to decide it
Yeah.
tonight. That's for sure.
Can our cemetery committee kind of put some stuff written down that we can start
Are you
putting
on
some
that? too?
guidelines?
Or
I can
just
help.
me? You can help.
I can go.
Okay.
I think it was you and I originally,
Yeah.
like a
We can
year
all,
ago.
we can all get together and figure it
Are
out.
we?
I'll help. I'll
The
do
bottom
whatever.
line is, it would be nice if our public works people and the people up there have some clear guidelines that are sanctioned.
Well,
So
yeah.
that,
Here's where I can help. I'll paint a headstone, and the guidelines will be. Like
There you go.
epitaph.
That would be perfect.
here lies the last dog.
Yeah. You gotta be dead to live here.
Okay.
Pay in advance, right?
I think we've got,
I have.
we've got a new logo there.
I like that.
Okay.
Dark.
This got out of order, but that's okay. In your packet, there was a resolution 264, 2026. This is actually something that is a state requirement that we have a designated person in the city that is basically there to accept, receive claims / lawsuits, whatever.
I move we accept 264, 2026.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
Is this something we have to
redo or revisit every year? Or every so many
I'll
years?
have to reread that. I just focused on that A, it has to be done, and B, it doesn't have to be a designated individual, it can be a designated position.
So then I would think it would be,
Okay.
keeps going.
Yeah, but I just, Stephen might don't remember. I thought we did something similar some time ago, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll just accept it and go.
Okay, and then I have to have it filed, the state requires that I have it filed with the county auditors,
Joe doesn't
auditor's
care, right?
office, so, not with her. Okay, any further discussion?
I'm good.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. 5-0. Okay. Next item should be this, yes. You guys already approved the contract. The attorney felt that we should really tighten that up with a resolution. So this is 263/2026 is basically confirming that by resolution that we are accepting the contract for TD&H.
I move we accept 263-2026.
Second.
Aye.
Guy had got a chance here.
Any other, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, we are at our consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Oh, second, sure. Actually, did Stephen say move to approve?
Somebody wake him up.
Okay, any further discussion on the consent agenda?
One thing I'll just note, because I've been doing this every month, it looks like we did not draw out of or add to money market. Looks like that was just increased by interest. And our checking is up $5,000. So this is the second or third month that we've made moderate gains.
Which is good, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. Just we all kind of made a commitment to watch all of that a little bit tighter. So I'm
Yeah.
just calling to everyone's attention that we are moving a good direction.
The one thing, Cassie, on the minutes, you had Grady G. Feller, but you didn't have G. Feller on there, just Grady from Avista.
Thank you,
Gfeller.
thank you. Fix that right now.
Jeez, I've been spelling it wrong all this.
Well, I had to read it. I couldn't.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, any further discussion on the consent agenda?
No, I can't find it now. I'm good.
Okay. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, nothing was removed from the consent agenda. Additions to the agenda. Stephen, you're up. Memorial Hall grant.
Okay. Try and keep this brief. I was contacted by Matt Zeiler, who is our contact and our sponsor for the application for the grant with AgWest. And he informed me that we were selected to be funded for the Memorial Hall, which is really, really good news. We actually came in second by one vote, but they chose to fund multiple projects. We're the largest of the ones that they chose to fund, so they were very generous to us in that commitment. So that's $75,000 to do the roof, the men's bathroom, which, as a reminder to anyone and on YouTube, because there are structural considerations that the women's bathroom would not lend itself to changes in the same way. And then also a mini split for the senior meals room, HVAC. So anyways, that's good. They'll be reaching out with a formal notice in the next few days. I also saw from an email that they will want us to participate in a photo opportunity. I don't know if that's all the council or if that's just the mayor or whatever. I will get more details on all of that. And then we had committed in the grant application to finding some supplemental community funds. So I think we know where some of those sources will probably more than likely be able to come from. But we'll have to start formalizing the pursuit of those funds. And then I think it is good and proper for the city to participate to a healthy degree in that as well. Part of what we did in making this grant was to choose two items, the roof and the HVAC, that have particular impact on reducing our long-term cost of maintenance for that facility. So while it may not be otherwise super palatable for us to drop a notable amount of money towards this effort at this point in time, it is in the pursuit of making sure that we don't have to pay out more than that over the coming years because we didn't have this capability. So so we'll probably need to put out a opportunity to bid for contractors. I think one of the two contractors that gave us an estimate will potentially be up for wanting to bid on that, if I understood correctly. And then the HVAC, I'm assuming it'll be pretty straightforward as far as that's probably a Kaiser thing, I'm guessing, unless we want to find another bid on that part of it. So and I think other than that, from what I've been told, there are minimal reporting requirements with this. They just would like to see evidence that it's actually happening and maybe a little bit of communication, which I said that to the extent that I am aware and notified, I will do that so that it doesn't impact our clerks, because that is the problem that we have with grants sometimes, is that they come with a lot of paperwork. So my goal in pursuing this was to make sure that it is as low impact to the city as possible. So anyways, thank you to everyone who participated, to the council for being there for the walkthrough, and also for the community members that gave us letters of recommendation for that, and also the two contractors, because we had about a little bit more than a week to put this together, and two of the contractors came on very short notice to give us estimates for it. So a group effort to get this across the finish line, and very grateful to everyone for that.
Touche. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
Good news.
Okay. Neighbor with regard to weed control.
Mr. Clark across the way from my shop there has been taking care of the weeds underneath the water tower for quite some time, and he feels that since it's not his property, he's been doing it out of his own pocket. He was wondering if there's any way that could be taken care of.
It'll get addressed tomorrow.
Okay.
I've been spraying that at times too. They took the shrubs out of there and made a big mess. That's what they did.
They were kind of forced to, I think, with the college.
Yeah,
We never followed through.
I
and
know.
Put the the gravel down and that type of thing.
Job half done. It was half done.
Would you say it was even half done?
Well, it was supposed to go further.
Oh, generous.
Yes.
Okay. We will get that tidied up. And the weeds under control. Okay. Parking on 4th Street.
Yeah, Paul Charlton came to me and asked me to consider something as far as the parking near the post office. Pretty much the whole town goes there once a day to get their mail, and between the alleyway would be south on 4th Street and Main Street. He suggested that we put in a 15-minute parking area in that section on both sides of the street.
I agree.
Right now, what we've got is, we've got a parking mess down here. And now what we have is a citizen that's parking equipment, trailers, unlicensed vehicles in that section now, and I think it's just gonna move around the corner and continue to get worse.
So,
Okay.
Fourth between Main
And the alley.
and the alley? Just the alley?
Because we have residences beyond that and parking on both sides the way that street was designed. Now we get to the fire, and I'll carry this on because from the fire hall south all the way to the city limits, the lane is against the curb there.
Parking
There-
on west side only.
Yes, there is no parking on that from one end to the other. I think we could sign that, you know, all it would take is no parking this side, and then down, and then put the 15-minute parking in the post office. I think would help everybody out a lot.
Well, because to Jim's point, and you brought up exactly what I was gonna talk about, is if you're coming from the west, I mean, you turn on 4th Street, a lot of people park on, it'd be the west side of that street to go into the post office. Well, there's a
The
The
east side or the west side?
west side,
Opposite of the post office.
right.
Both sides, though, is
But
what
I
we're
would,
talking
I would
about.
make both
But-
sides
but
a
he was-
15-minute.
Oh,
Yeah, I know
Both
what the- I
west
know what you-
sides
Right.
of Fourth.
But the individual or individuals seem to park truck, trailer, other stuff in overnight, and sometimes I think for a week.
Yeah, it's there a longer.
Okay.
Well, at one
long
time, we
time.
had a semi parked.
Yes.
You know, I mean.
And you're
it's just-
talking about no parking flat out
No.
from where to where? Or was that just
No, 15-minute parking.
15
only.
minute only? Okay.
That gives
24
people-
hours.
Yeah, that gives people a chance to get into the post office and they aren't gonna have to,
15-minute parking and no overnight parking. 15.
Just 15 minute.
well, if it's 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes,
Right.
doesn't matter what time it is.
Okay.
Right.
So I sense that we probably have to write that up in
Code
an
enforcement.
Code enforcement
Right.
ordinance.
How about no lane rubber right there too?
Well, that's the one thing holding the street together.
Yeah, send them
Okay.
out of town.
So you guys would like that ordinance presented to you at the next meeting to vote
Please.
upon?
And the no parking on the east side of Fourth from, what is that, Sherlock?
No, Alice or
Glover?
no,
What's the fire hall?
it's Alice.
is on Willis.
Willis.
Okay,
Sorry,
from
Willis.
Willis, but it's the next street up, there's no parking there either.
Well, that'd be
Until you get
Sherlock.
to Bly's Apartments.
There's no parking all the way.
Yeah,
All the
until
way to
you get
City
down
Limits.
to these two houses.
No, it goes all the way to Ron Muller, or the city limits.
No, I'm
The
talking
only
about
ones that
coming
we
north.
would have on the east side is the ones on the south side of the alley and the one on the corner.
Right,
Those are the only two.
two that would
parking.
have on street on the east side.
Right.
Right.
Right, yeah, you got it.
And I don't know if we have to paint a curb or what we have to do to designate that area, you know. It's just, but I think it would be something that,
Spike strips.
But we got a towing outfit here.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're the ones that are parked.
and also, is there anything on the striping on that street? Where we use it as a detour, the center stripe should be put back on that.
Did they
Fourth
get a
Street.
chance to at least mark them so that they could get them restriped?
We're talking about 4th Street.
Yeah,
I'll volunteer if you want to help me.
yeah,
We'll do it.
I can go do
Well,
it.
we've got the equipment and we got the paint. I think what happened is it got lost with a bunch of changes.
The tabs are still there, I can find them, I know that.
In the right sunlight conditions, you can see them show
Yeah,
up
that,
pretty good.
that was a favor that the DOT.
Are you leaving,
just came
Joe?
in and did it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Have a nice night.
But where we do use that as a designated detour, we need to get that one taken care of.
Okay. I think that work order is already out there. I
Yeah.
just think it got
Yeah.
buried with
a
You
number
know-
of other things, so.
And for parking, going further more on that, if you can come out with white line, off the curb, the width, where you can park on that road,
Yeah.
and then the other stuff is not.
Well, you put the center line back in there, and, it comes down to where they're in the lane, it's pretty obvious that they're.
Okay. We'll get something cleaned up and work on getting an ordinance.
And I'll get that marked. I've got some paint, I'll get it marked.
What the heck was it?
Or get together with Lance and just get the thing with a couple cans of, we've got the.
Do you have a
upside down-
painter? A little.
We've got one of those, same thing, it's just one of those walk behind, 4 wheels, frame with a,
But
you
it's
drop
just-
the can in and
just
it's got a
spray
lever
cans?
to just
Oh,
pull, as you
You're
walk
gonna-
it, you
You're
can
gonna
just.
use a lot of.
yeah, it'd be better to. I wonder if we could
Borrow the states?
not borrow, but have them do it when the striper comes through. They will, I know the county's got a striper too.
Well, they
Maybe we
did.
can hire them to, if we mark them,
I don't know if did they contract theirs out?
I don't know.
The DOT was happy to come and pave the area at the north end of town as long as we paid them for it, which was a bargain compared to what we would have paid a private contractor. It was their road,
I
we
wonder
were cutting up.
when do you think they're scheduled to, by fall, or they're not gonna come through?
It's all prioritized. They'll do I-90 first and, all the majors, and then they come through here. I'll contact them.
Okay.
I'll talk to the state and the county both and see what we can get done.
Because our practice is basically paint it and then come back with a handful of the crushed glass and throw it in the fresh paint and
I don't think we're really set up for that.
do a good job on the crosswalks.
Oh, yeah, those are definitely animal.
Because we do have the sprayer for that.
But you pretty well, you'd pretty much have to have a stencil into each one of them. That'd be a job.
Okay.
Coming from someone that used to do a lot of.
You do a lot of painting too.
I did not.
Mailboxes on city sidewalks.
Okay, I know there's a couple, but one in particular that popped up on Cooley Road, heading out of town, south by the cemetery. And it's stuck right in, well, pretty much takes up the sidewalk for ADA requirements or anything, people walking. And, I get the dynamics playing out here, but if we don't set some guidelines, it's just gonna get out of hand.
So the post office is this is my interpretation because I got a letter basically saying you can put up your own mailbox, or if you don't, you're now going to pay for your PO box. So the era of we don't deliver to your house and you get a PO box for no charge is rapidly coming to a close. And that I think this is an assumption, is that one you're talking about as a result of that. I couldn't find anything in our codes that said you can't do it as long as it fits the federal guidelines for the post office box. My only insistence was that the pole be put in such a way that it's a breakaway, so that if somebody hits it, it breaks away and it doesn't become deadly.
Is that our road or county road?
That's
Half and half?
That's well, I know it's our border. I mean, so
I think
where
everything-
that delineates, but it's a
Sure.
county road. I don't think it's on us to maintain it, because they're the ones that sand the crap out of it.
I don't know how the county roads are. I know the state, everything outside the fog line is ours. So, all these mailboxes sitting in a 5-gallon bucket, they aren't a crash barrier. I mean, they aren't an approved. I fought this, that was part of my job, and it was really such a mess that we really kind of stepped away from it because it was such a big mess. Because they're supposed to be a breakaway, they're supposed to be a certain type of, distance off the roadway, and we've kind of got a mess. I don't know what we're gonna have to set policy and maybe put them on a corner, consolidate them where we haven't got buckets sitting on the right of way all the way.
Or the
I
mail people can
hesitate-
pull in the driveway and put it in a box and
I
drive back.
I
hesitate
don't
to
know
bring
what-
this up, but
what
I
they
know
do.
of
I don't know what-
some areas will put up a community mailbox.
Yeah. Well, and you do that, you might as well just go down to the thing here.
But it's $126
Yeah,
a year.
and it's
Yeah, they're
going
getting
up
out of
there.
hand.
We've always paid box rent, but it's never been what it is now.
Stupid crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I personally, I'm gonna pay it because I don't want my mail in a box
Exactly.
half a block away, and even if it was at the front door, I'd probably still pay for a mail,
Well, they-
just for a security point of view.
They do get broken into, they do get stolen around graduation, Christmas time, or hot times of the year. That they go and raid them.
They're great to swing baseball bats when you're
Yeah,
when you're a kid.
No, I think we do need to get
I'd
them
love
off
to
the
see
set.
someone do that to
That
me.
one up there, I had a comment on that one too. Somebody, you know, what's the deal with
I guess, I don't know who the postal people, they're their own animal, but, you know, pull off the dang, I mean, they could, as to your point, I forget what they call them, but, you know, the group community mailboxes is, I don't see why they couldn't pull in, dump it, you know, don't have to get out of their car, but in the person's driveway, especially up there, could put it in and back onto the road.
But I don't know if they can back up. I think they have to do everything going forward.
Oh, the mail trucks.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
think
would
it's
guess
what-
that too.
I think that's what their restrictions are.
Well, they wouldn't have to back up, they just make it up.
Yeah, the one I was
I
thinking
tell
of is
you,
literally
these
the
guys are-
postmaster or the postman has one key and he opens up the entire front of this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
and
I
exposes
had
the
one of
boxes
those,
and
Those
they
get
throw
broken
the
into,
mail
too.
in, and then when it closes, then everyone has their own individual door key.
Yeah.
But I have to believe those are not inexpensive.
Well, the thing I'm looking at, we have the post office, we have our wants, wishes, and needs, but also there's an ADA. We just spent how many hundreds of thousands of dollars doing sidewalks down here to satisfy ADA, American Disability Act.
Oh, the $424,000?
Yes, exactly. And then we see the contradictory scheme going on here. I mean, I just don't know.
Well, like I said, Harrington, to the best of my knowledge, when I went through the code, I could not find anything
Probably
that
not.
dictates post office boxes, PO or mailboxes or anything.
Because it was basically non-existent.
Yeah, I'd say, 5 years ago is when all this started, 10 years ago maybe.
And I
So with
know this person here in our post office is not the authority on what can and can't be done.
No.
It's the postmaster, which I think is in Davenport.
Yeah.
Or in Spokane, too.
Davenport oversees this here, because when they moved the
Mailbox thing.
the drop-off box out of the back alley, I tried to
You did
pursue
too.
that, and I got nowhere.
Yeah, they took it where you could drive up and mail your letter, and then they take the damn thing and they move it up 4 feet away from the door, which you have to get out and go do it anyways. You might as well just go in and mail your darn letter.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was out front. You guys probably remember. It was out on front there where you pull up now, off of Main Street there. It sat out there on the edge of the sidewalk or
With
whatever.
the snorkel, yeah.
But that's been gone for.
So
But it was in the alley, and they didn't want
Yes.
they didn't want to go out in the alley.
We do,
And I
there
used to
is
call it.
something in the codes about sandwich boards on sidewalks. And would that pertain to this? Advertising, and at this point, we're letting all the businesses downtown do that with,
I think, doesn't it specify that they can't impede?
Right.
yeah,
Traffic?
that is true. And it may be that they are not fixed, in theory, too. I can't remember, but I know there's an ordinance about that.
Both of you are
Yes.
right.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I think the caveat on is that it can't be put up in such a
Yeah.
way that it blocks.
You have an 8-foot
Traffic.
sidewalk here, so it looks like, I mean, there's plenty of, to accommodate ADA and all that kind of stuff. But up there, that's not happening. Both of you guys' assumptions or your statements
Well,
are correct.
My suggestion is jot
First-
down a couple of ideas, because this is not gonna go away, so we might as well try to get it under control and get ahead of it before it becomes a bigger deal.
We need to talk to the post office and see what they demand in a mailbox. So does it have to be accessible from the car? and how high. I know there's a height and how far from the road it's supposed to be.
The edge of the curb there.
And these are just Home Depot buckets with sand in them, most of them.
Well, like, that's why I brought up whose road is that, because I think, well, the state and county, or any municipal road like that, they do have setbacks. The speed of road makes it, classification is a city, 25 mile an hour, 50, 60 road, whatever. To me,
Where I grew up, the speed limit was 50 miles an hour, and the mailbox is right there around a blind corner, so the postman could get absolutely creamed if somebody wasn't paying attention.
so you probably had quite a few postmen.
We need some more information before we can do any action. on
Right.
this.
I just wanted to bring it to attention, like everything else.
Good point. I think maybe the ones that are blocking the sidewalk, we maybe our enforcement officer needs to ask them to move them somewhere else.
Yeah, like I said, in absence of having anything when I was asked, we don't even have the requirement for it to be a breakaway, and it's Tokyo Harrington Road, and yes, it's 25 miles an hour, but we know that's also where they're always doing speed enforcement, to slow them down. So, okay, we'll find out from the post, what is their requirements for placement of post offices, height, distance from road, all the rest of it, we'll start there.
And while we're on parking, we've kind of talked a little bit about this. I know it's an old ordinance, it goes back many years, generations. But 3rd Street out here, from, I believe, Sherlock to about the street right here, there's no overnight parking. And there's been a couple times a semi would be parked over here, and different things. And I can go back into history, but I'm not going to bore you with all that. But it is a valid, I don't know, it might be in our code. I know it's in our ordinance, but that's another code enforcement thing for Mike at this point. We enforce that.
We'll have to.
And it's only this
find
section.
it, and yeah.
So, I mean, there's plenty to bite off here, and I know we're not going to solve it all tonight.
Yeah, parking semis in the city limits when our cities are not rated and coded for that much potential weight has been a problem. The former mayor tried to get traction and doing something about it, and there was just too many other things that came up, so.
Well,
I came up with my one solution, but it's I can't get grant money for it, and I'm not gonna spend the money.
we have that lot of land triangle. I'm not sure exactly how big it is, and haven't measured it, but up there south of on 4th Street, south of the elevators there.
Well, right here on 28, across the stream from the church, right on 28, we own a big chunk of land, and if it was graded and what have you,
That's why I was saying it is
we
maybe
could,
$10 overnight parking there.
I know that there are people who park their trucks in Ritzville, and then they either commute back and forth from here, or they used to anyway, or a spouse has to go get them when they're back. It would be nice if we had someplace that those things could be parked without damaging anything. I was just thinking if we had that lot there, it's right off the highway. If it was gravelled, there's no infrastructure underneath it to get crushed. The money, the grant we want to do is basically to build a walkway. I put this in the transportation plan. Build a bridge over the stream so they basically could walk from there onto the street, so nobody had to go out to the highway, and they didn't have to walk on the highway to get into town. And that was one of those solutions for one of those vacant piece of properties that we have that grows nothing but weeds right now.
Yeah.
But that's a fair chunk of money for gravel and everything else to do that. On top, I'd want the community to buy in, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, that's a great idea, and I've heard a few people say, nah, they wouldn't much care for that. So.
Well, the only thing is, if you get too close to the creek, there's issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay,
Garbage restroom. That's when they pull off the freeway on those exit and on ramps, it's nothing but a garbage pit, and they dump their big Gatorade bottles that are full of piss.
Yeah. I'm at the one up here at Sprague.
Yep.
2-3 times a week, and let's see, on Monday there was, again, I feel sorry for Sprague, but this was on state land, but somebody dumped half a dozen tires right there on the on-ramp. So, okay, that's it for the agenda. There, mayor's comments. I really don't have anything. We pretty much covered everything that's in my
Your arsenal.
Have we changed our watering schedule to cemetery in the park?
Have we?
Yeah. Is it being watered as much as we have in the past?
The cemetery, my understanding is it hasn't changed, is to answer your
Seems
question.
like it's pretty dry up there. I don't know.
But it's also going in the middle of the afternoon, the heat of the day, and usually you wanna go from like 10
They
to
are-
4 in the morning to that.
They are approaching me about trying to spend a few dollars and get the city park on a timer, because right now it's still
Yeah.
being manually done.
That should be.
Oh, that's something I got. They're gonna scrape and stain the wood toy up at the park on Friday. I think Beth called you and said Thursday, but it's gonna be Friday now. He just called. So if you can make sure the guys know and not turn on the sprinklers over the weekend.
You're gonna have some bad people.
Yes.
Are you making a note of that, or do I
Yeah.
need to? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I talked to you before.
No,
but-
Well, she said Thursday, but
If they lay the wood
it's gonna
to
be
it,
Friday.
all those hours and not evaporate out.
It seems like we should be watering at night.
Yes.
So, this is more of a Lions Club thing, but we are gonna work on getting all the engraved, with regard to the town square, all the engraved bricks that we have moved out of the shop and located on site, so we can start working on coming up with a plan to get those swapped out and replaced. Apparently, there's some on the ground right now which have typos or were not written out correctly, so we'll get those removed and properly replaced.
Who does the engraving?
Tresco Monument.
Is it?
Was it Tresco?
They usually do pretty good, but
I've got 4 that need to be laid.
We've got the plaques, got all the stuff, so the benches will have the plaques for those people who donated them. Get those installed and riveted in place. So that's in the works. So I'm hoping town square can effectively be called done at the end of this year.
one quick, before we wrap up, what's the endowment doing right now with Raymond James?
As far as I know, when I talked to him, and that's been 6 weeks ago, is he just trying to get a plan together.
Okay, so he's holding it up on his end?
Well, it seems to me that, I mean, he called me and wanted to know what my vision was for the cemetery, what the city's vision was for the cemetery endowment fund,
Right.
and what we wanted done with the money. And I gave him, to the best of my ability, what I thought, and he said that works for me. I will come up with a plan and you guys will see it, and I haven't seen anything.
You're the last one that has talked to him. I haven't heard. Or
I mean, I could call him. I think I still have his number.
I think
I
I
as
emailed
well,
him.
I talk to him quite regularly, and
Well,
We
if
haven't-
you
we
talk
haven't-
to him,
I tell him to get
yeah, folk will know. Because it would be nice. What do we, $126, something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
On a $500,000, we should be doing better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move we adjourn.
Oh, second. I was gonna say it.
Can't add your tongue,
Okay.
huh?
Move to adjourn. It's 9:05.
2
All in favor,
hours and
say
3
aye.
minutes.
Aye.
You have anything to sign?
Yeah, we have signatures.
Check register.
Signatures.
Yeah, I gotta move in on that. Hot mic still?
Yes.
date?
10th.